Hey everyone, my name is Tom with Duck Street Leather, and this is going to be a build-along tutorial style video on how I make my belts. Thanks for checking it out. So the first step is going to be laying out a previous belt that I know fits my waist and matching that up with the blank for the new belt. The next step is just to measure out that length and get it lined up with the new belt. And then I'm going to mark that point here with a scratch awl. Next, I'm just squaring up the edges to make sure that they're at a 90-degree angle and everything fits right. And then I'm doing that on the other end as well. The next step is going to be to line up a template for the belt tip and trace that with the scratch awl again. And then after that, just cutting it out. This next step is skiving the fold point where the belt buckle is actually going to be placed on the belt. And so this is just shaving off layers of the leather at that fold point so that it's not so thick and it can fold over easier at that point. And there you can see folding over nicely. Next step is adjusting this tool called a wing divider, which allows me to mark a point a certain distance from the center. Since this is a 1.5 inch belt, I'm marking it at 0.75 inches, so it's directly in the middle. And I'm marking these holes here for the place where the tongue of the buckle is going to slide through the belt, and then also where the Chicago screws are going to go through to hold everything together. And you'll see what that looks like in a minute. So I'm just punching out the holes here with a rotary punch. And then now I'm going to mark lines connecting those two holes so that I can make an oval shape for the belt buckle tongue to pass through. So then the next step is just to cut that out. And you can see here that created a nice oval shape for the buckle to pass through. So next I'm using this corner punch to make nice rounded edges on the side of the belt that's going to fold over on itself, just so that it doesn't snag on anything and it slides a bit easier. This next step is beveling the edges of the belt, and essentially this is taking off a small piece on the corner so that it's rounded off, and this will allow the belt to slide through belt loops easier and through the belt buckle without having any harsh corners to catch on anything. So this is on the top side, and then in addition to that, you also need to do the bottom side so that the edge is completely rounded on both sides. Got all the little belt spaghetti there. So now that all those edges are nice and rounded off, the next step is going to be to burnish the edges, and essentially that's taking all the fuzzy, unfinished bits of the leather on the outside, applying something like gum Tragacanth is what I'm using, but you can also use water or other burnishing agents, and slicking down all those fibers so that the outside edges of the leather are nice and smooth. So then I'm testing the buckle fit here just to make sure I don't need to make any more adjustments, and everything looks like it's fitting nicely. So the next step is going to be taking the Chicago screws, which are a male and a female part that essentially act as a rivet to bind the belt together, and putting those in place. So those just go in the back and then are screwed in, allowing you to change out buckles if you want, but also acting as a good way to hold things together. So I'm just screwing those in and tightening them up. And that is what the finished belt end looks like. Everything looks like it's fitting together and coming out nicely. And then here's a shot of how it fits around my waist. So there's a little bit of excess to tuck into the belt loop. And here's one last final shot of the finished product. Alright, so that's it. That's my process for making a belt. It's not the only way to do it, and I'm not even saying it's the best way, but it's the way that I do it and that I found gives me a nice, consistent, clean looking result that I'm pretty happy with. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something about leatherworking, or at least were entertained for a little while. I'll be making some more videos soon. I'm also going to throw my Instagram link down in the description, and lastly, I'm working on getting my website set up. When that's done, you can check that out as well. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.